my boy. I love Mott.
Oh, 110%. But again, if you want to watch that game, obviously go check out Monteneva. But here over on this stream, we are going to be getting things going for this matchup coming up here with Costa Rica and Puerto Rico. And again, teams I've gotten to see quite a lot of, familiar with quite a number of these players. But of course, this is a big
Indeed.
time, yep, big time matchup for both of these teams here today, though. Both put themselves in a brilliant spot moving forward for the rest of the weekend if they manage to take this one away. And our Sona is out on the hazard, something we have seen some glimpses of, but Artorias, well known for that diva, and is going to be starting at it as well. But the big thing I'm looking forward to is Kitso versus Talisman over in this Tracer 1v1. Both very decorated players in their own right.
Let me tell you something, Hunter. I am so happy they put Hazard in the initiator role because, yeah, I mean, he needed to be there. Let's be so real. He needed to be there. He is not a bruiser. He is an initiator. He will go in. He will mess you up. And putting him in that proper role, I think, has already made him feel a whole lot better as a character, both to play and to watch, really. Early, though, in this fight, we don't really have any significant damage. A lot gets put out onto Kixo there, but not enough quite to take him out of the equation. Talisman, though, will be the first to fall. The Tracer on the Puerto Rican side will be out of the equation for this first fight. And just like that, Costa Rica, first captured.
100% done and dusted on that one. So Costa Rica taking the first fight away. We need a quick regroup right here, but you have pretty much everybody back already. You can take a somewhat aggressive fight, but you're going to have a lot ready fast here if you are Costa Rica, especially as Kitso takes the 1v1 fight here to take down Talisman.
All right, that is one way to do it. Puerto Rico once again on the back foot after losing Talisman early, this time off the back of Kisco. Just winning that Tracer duel and then throwing out a pulse bomb at nothing. Honestly, I get it. Sometimes you gotta tell him who's boss.
Sometimes you absolutely have to. You have Consider Rush about to be available over here for Wed, but it gets used by Smacks first to make some space right here. But there's enough time for it to be thrown right back in their face, and now somebody needs to get an ultimate online to turn this fight and turn this tide.
But you gotta do it quickly, too, and they're coming up on a couple of them. Shane gets that sound barrier and will end up popping it. Going in on this one, and eventually Benji does go down. Very, very nice pick from Shane. And another instance where one player finds their counterpart, Smacks finding Wed. And that is a capture for Puerto Rico at 66%. But, I mean, that was a while that they were able to hold on to that one.
Oh, no, 100%. But it'll be fascinating where things go from here. Again, there's some really good ultimates that get held on to. Benji still having the sound barrier is really big because there's no other support ultimate on the line anywhere. And it's going to come down to Arsona to kind of pull this trigger as it's going to be Midchicken and Kel going in early. Midchicken's dead early.
Ooh. Yeah, dead so fast into this fight here. And, I mean, Arsona, he's hit to use the downpour as well, but I mean, a couple more players are going to fall. And this time it's the support line of Puerto Rico. So they just don't have any sustain on the point here. Hazard can't get back in time to contest it. So the flip will go through. 36% is all Puerto Rico is going to be getting in that initial engagement.
Yeah, 100%. So we'll see how things kind of truck on forward from here. 80% on the board. Just a pulse bomb to the name of Talisman for Puerto Rico to get things rocking and rolling. But you're going to have the touch over on this point. An early touch, all things considered, and Kitso is just going to be eyeing for that target in that backline. You would love to catch it onto Chain right here and do that.
Oh my god.
And what?
Are you serious? That was gross. Talisman just gets melted into a fine paste. There will be no Tracer recontest here, and there won't even be a carry recontest because Wed hits every single kunai headshot for like a solid 5 seconds straight and gets 2 kills. And that's going to be a point for Costa Rica.
That is utter insanity. Let's make that very clear right now. For those of you that don't know, Talisman, honestly, maybe one of the bigger players in North American Face It for Master. Has been playing there very consistently, but on some really good teams like Dreamland. But Kitso in their own right comes in here and really takes it to him, wins the majority of those 1v1s, and now Talisman obviously going to TP them out right there, as you're going to see Kitso not take the 1v1 now, going to go over to the Mei to play for those walls and try to cut off Arsona.
I like that. I really like that play from
Arsona's already here.
I mean, oh, what? I mean, hunting down the Diva is one way to do it for sure. That is a lot of early damage being done to a lot of players on the side of Puerto Rico. And, I mean, so far, not a whole lot of response damage-wise. Kixo's kind of low and eventually does actually go down. But Arsona,
so close!
Also alive, not going to be able to get that environmental kill because Diva, as it turns out, she can fly. Kyle goes down, I assume, to self-nade damage, and that's just the first capture for Puerto Rico. Like, surely. They get this, and that's a reset.
Too. Yeah, but that's final things considered. Again, that's way better right there for Talisman, who's already going to have a pulse bomb ready for the next fight right here. The Mei, again, you're hoping for a lot of that early game to work out well, and Arsona does get cut off. Unfortunately, still had all of that defense matrix to survive through it all. So now your Talisman, pulse bomb here early. No one can really eat this thing unless Artorias lines this thing up perfectly right here. But if you can catch us on to Benji or Kale, burn them down early, you can really stop a fight from happening before it even really occurs. And here we go.
Just to stick onto the Bastion, and there it is. The turret form is always so scary when you stick a Bastion because the damage reduction is enough to keep him alive, but the damage from the rest of the team was there. And as a result, the Bastion does live. Kisco nearly goes down in the mix of that, but I mean, Shane maybe gets a little bit over-aggressive here, and now that's an opportunity for Costa Rica to get back in on this one. A couple of support ultimates get burned here, but so does the Override Protocol. A lot of damage going out here, but it is just not enough to get through the sound barrier.
Oh, the bomb. Look where it's at.
Self-destruct on top of the pillar just to try and force somebody out, but it's not enough here. The contest is going to not last any longer than 62%.
Now stagger time.
Yeah, it's stagger time. This poor Diva, she will die. It's just a matter of when.
They're going to let it go and demech again and get so much more charges to resolve.
No.
And now Arsona's going to... That basically gets you to the double DPS. And now Arsona is staggered out even longer. You are walking into double support, though. You're going to have to deal with having the beat as well as that Kitsune Rush ready to go. So there is a lot to have to deal with right here. But if you manage to time this really well, if you're Kitso with this freeze, you put yourself in a really brilliant position as they're going to send somebody to the backup point right there, Talisman, and it's going to force everybody to have to give up that initial choke and lay back on some of that aggression.
I mean, the problem with Blizzard here is that everybody on the side of Puerto Rico is playing a very slippery character, so it's going to be hard to lock anyone down with the freeze itself. But, I mean, Smacks goes down before anybody even had the opportunity to get frozen. Shane is going to opt to use the sound barrier here as well, which, I mean, it seems like it may actually turn the fight, despite being down a player. No Kiriko to speak of. They're still going to use that ultimate very aggressively to engage in a fight where they were down a player and win it out.
Yeah, I like that, though. They pull it out. They needed to in that situation right there to really solidify a fight win. But now the worry is that you've used both. Kitsune Rush is ready to go forward, and now, again, a situation where there's no real answer immediately as Kale going to try to find somebody with the artillery strike. Just doesn't really get a whole lot out. Does get the cleanse at the very least, so if they're quick, this could end nicely. But again, Override Protocol ready to go.
Yep. Out it goes, and I mean, that Sigma's looking real injured and does eventually get taken down by the final big blast from the Override. Pulse bomb here as well, and you know that Bastion's an easy stick, but you don't want to be too unsafe with it, considering what Bastion can do to you in a Kitsune Rush.
Yeah.
However, Talisman is just kind of nice at this character, as it turns out. Kind of nice at this Tracer character, as it turns out.
Yeah. Listen, playing angry after that first round, where Kitso was definitely just taking care of them really early in engagements, and now Talisman just comes alive right there. Again, you see the significance of how much those stats have changed right there. Talisman was like 4-4, now they're like 17-5. Phenomenal. But the person I think to bring up right here, between all these squads right here, we haven't said the name, really, McChicken, who's been just pumping in damage, has been making the life of Artorias as difficult as humanly possible, and is looking to do the same here to finish things off over on Night Market, where at the very least we see no changes coming through here for Puerto Rico. For Costa Rica, though, Kel is going to go overmatch that Emery, as Kitso does end up going back to the Tracer to take on Talisman. Phenomenal.
Yeah, for a moment there, it looked like Talisman might be sticking to the Symmetra, but nope. Going over to the Tracer as well. So we have a full mirror match here with a very standard composition. Only real, like, non-standard or new thing is that we have both teams running the Emery hit scan instead of the Sojourn hit scan, but we've seen a lot of that in the last few matches, in the last few weeks. So not a huge surprise, but very interesting to note at very least.
Yeah, 100%. And now you're kind of just having this next fight ready to engage very quickly. It's really hard to force yourself into this engagement right here, where everyone is just getting forced out by Arsona, continuously making room. McChicken and Talisman need to eventually find the follow-up onto somebody to bring this fight towards its end, because right now, the further things delve into chaos right here, the worse it's potentially going to get, as Artorias is out of the mech early, and this fight should realistically become unwinnable.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose out on your tank entirely, it just becomes a massive problem. And, I mean, definitely a lost fight now that Kyle on that Emery is out of the equation. But, I mean, this is just an opportunity for Puerto Rico to get aggressive and see if they can find anything else, which McChicken does. Wed is out. And, I mean, these shots are just beautiful from McChicken. Look at that ult charge. 89%. Yeah. Make it 91. Make it 93. Screw it. Like, this guy just won't miss a single headshot and already nearly has an override.
Yeah, and now you're going to be able to take this fight potentially aggressively as a result. You have so much on your back going into this fight where it really is dealer's choice as to what you want to do right here. You have to eventually send a body back out of the point with Arsona, who does have a bomb ready to go, but so far it's McChicken trying to find some value at the moment to find Kitso out.
Sure. I mean, yeah, why not? Just get Kitso out of the game instantly. Look at him. And, yeah, he's gone. That 175 HP is not going to last long against the override protocol. And neither is the rest of the team's HP pool. Holy Puerto Rico. They struggled on that first point, but now they're in one-fight territory. Kitso, the only player who might be able to trigger overtime here, has the pulse bomb in hand, so
no overtime.
Oh no! There's no touch there. This, I mean, the sound barrier comes in. That's a great boof onto McChicken, but the other target was your Lucio, so he's gonna be able to make it back at very least. A lot of damage going out here thanks to the override protocol from Kyle, but just a matter of being able to continually clean up this fight, and losing out on Benji means that's going to be a lot harder going forward. Isco with the pulse bomb doesn't connect onto anybody, but the D.Va bomb comes out from Arsona. Not going to find any eliminations, and the D.Va goes down in the midst of that. Pulse bomb gets eaten by Artorias. Talisman with a maybe slight blunder. I don't think it's going to be that bad that it'll cost them the map quite yet, but it's definitely something you're going to look back on and kick yourself over. Demecking the D.Va, though. Another D.Va bomb on the point. This one forces everybody from the side of Puerto Rico off and gives Costa Rica their first capture percentage here on Night Market. But man, what a ridiculous fight that was.
Yeah, no, 100%. And now no ultimate's really on the table kind of moving forward. You're getting up 2 wickets in a rush, which would be massive right here if you are Smash to go ahead and make that room. And now you're kind of fighting to simply build that up, let damage go onto Arsona as a result, and give yourself that ability to pull that trigger and potentially win the fight as a result. And it's going to be sent out right here. Wed needs to live long enough, potentially get it online, but gets her, unfortunately, already losing on Artorias and Kitso. This one, despite the thing being here, is going to be done and dusted.
Yeah, I mean, that was some heroics from the side of Puerto Rico near the end there. But Costa Rica, man, they made that so close. That first point felt pretty dominant in their favor. But the second and third point, man, I mean, Talisman's Tracer is so nasty, so ridiculous. And McChicken on this Emery also so good. Consistently throughout this entire thing. So big ups to both of those players for just being out of their minds on this map.
Yeah, no, 100%. It is insanity. in that instance right there. But it's a good map for both sides. It just ends up being a tale of two sides ultimately. It's a really good start for Costa Rica, but Puerto Rico, they come back and they play angry on those last 2 points. They look fantastic. So now it's really about trying to find an answer if you're Costa Rica. And you have so many good players on this team to where you definitely have the ability to find an answer for everything that's going on. But it doesn't mean it's going to be an easy situation. You can decide on the map, you can decide on the ban, but it's going to be a scenario where you're playing similar enough styles to where either one of those is not going to be as powerful as they would be if you have, like, you know, if you're going up against, just for the instance of what we've seen today, a Guatemala where it's like, okay, we know they want to go brawl, let's go Gibraltar, and force them onto something else. That's a good alternative right there. But if you're so similar in teams and you know each other well enough, it's not going to be as simple to do. So we'll see what their answer is going to be soon. I will make a point really quick. Argentina did take that first map win over Ecuador, and they're actually what? Are you looking at A stream right now?
I'm looking at A stream right now.
Look at that.
What is that time bank? What in the world?
If they actually do that, Rainy Day, what are you doing, buddy? Oh my god, Rainy Day actually.
Rainy.
That's insanity, by the way. If they actually manage to pull that one out, they're not going to, but my god, that's insane. Actually, are they going to? They're going to do it. They kept with 344 against Argentina?
That's crazy. Oh my god. What am I looking at?
I know y'all can't see it, but if you're watching anyone else's stream, that is insanity. No way.
Is this the same team we watched yesterday?
That is the same team. To be fair, they had strong members. We heard about like I heard about like Kelly and Kirby all day and never really got to see them at their finest. But again, we only saw the glimpse of like the end there, but still, that is, oh my god.
344 is absurd. Like, I mean, Gibraltar is not an easy map to finish. I don't think it's the hardest payload map to get to third points on. I think that's still Rialto, but it is not an easy map to finish. And yet here goes Team Ecuador with 344 in the time bank. What?
That is insanity, man. I wish I could see every single game, and I'm happy that I get to. But man, it sucks to not cover every single one. That's insane. Wow. I mean,
I'm just gonna sit back and watch that one until the next map starts for our series.
Yeah, I have it pulled up on the side for when it gets going. So yeah, Puerto Rico up 1-0 on Costa Rica, and subsequently for this other one, Argentina is up 1-0 on Ecuador. But we'll see how both of these teams are going to respond moving forward. It's going to be very, very fascinating to see. I will tell you that much. But for Costa Rica, again, some really phenomenal players over on this team that we've gotten the opportunity to learn quite a bit about. Biggest for Costa Rica, that backline within Benji and Wed that we saw. Both of them actually students and competitors over at Briarcliff University. Who you know, have been pretty successful in their own right, have done a lot of amazing things. There's a lot of Briarcliff people that are actually playing this weekend, if you didn't know, within the Americas.
I did not.
Yeah, it's it's unreal how many are competing, because like obviously you have the two I just mentioned right there. You have right now LCS right now, who's playing over for Team Chile. You have Spooky, who's back up on the Costa Rica roster. It's phenomenal. Is Amity? Amity's just an American player. Okay, just had to double check. Amity, who I think has their own team coming up here. I believe, yeah, was on Hiveline before. Don't know if they still are or not. It's roster mania for Face It technically still, so hopefully we get that a little more solidified here soon. But
especially with Face It so soon.
Oh yeah, 100%. But a lot of these players also having a lot of really big success as well. I talk about Wed, or as they're kind of more known as WedTube. Last season, competed on Dilpados, won South American Face It, ended up winning 4-1 against Vlog Di Caminero, which me and Dex can now say properly now, thankfully.
Hell yeah.
Competed in NA Expert the season before on the cafe. Ended up getting top 4 in that right there, which is a really good display. But I can talk about these players all day long, Getster. The proof is in the pudding, though, as we're getting ready to head into our next map here, where it looks like
Runasapi.
good old Runasapi. And
I like
Runasapi,
Runasapi.
to be fair, I think this is a beautiful map. I think it plays
Yeah.
very well.
Yeah.
This is a map that either, the way I want to phrase it, is you're either going to get a complete curb stomp, or it's the closest map you've ever seen, and there's not many in-betweens.
Yeah. So, one thing that I'm noticing right off the bat is both of these squadrons are running out with the Vendetta instead of the Tracer. So I'm willing to bet that there was probably a Tracer ban. That's probably what happened here, right? Obviously, this is the clean feed. We don't have access to the match chats. We don't have access to the admins or anything like that. So we don't know what the bans are, but I'm going to theorize that one of the bans was in fact Tracer. If I had to guess, it would have been Costa Rica who banned it out, but I mean, we got no way of knowing.
Yeah, it could be the case. But this fight's going pretty aggressively, and Talisman down early, which, normally is a really good sign for Costa Rica to go ahead and take a fight of their own. But for now, you're going to rally over towards the point. They realize you can't really take a fight without Talisman here, so they're just going to back out a little bit and keep everybody rocking and rolling and take the quick reset.
I think this is the correct play for Costa Rica as well, just making sure that they have a fair bit of distance on this barricade while Talisman is unable to, participate in the fight and contribute to any of it. Now, in the meantime, Talisman eventually does get back, but 33 meters and pushing. We're already well over halfway to that initial checkpoint. And I mean, a lot of damage is being poured out right now from the side of Costa Rica. Cal on this Sojourn, just waiting for the opportunity to use a railgun.
Yeah, 100%. Just hoping to be able to get in there right now, and nobody willing to go down. This is a war of attrition at the corner right there. You see Kitso go mega aggressive over on the Vendetta. Not a whole lot of distance right now. We're building up to ultimate so quickly for Benji's right around the corner ramming a beat, and I imagine you're going to see a really aggressive take here in a second here. And yeah, there it is. Aggression. Bomb has to be used. Arso is dead on the spot, and now this swings the door wide open for Costa Rica.
Yeah, I mean, that's the railgun you want to see from your Sojourn. Like, oh no, the Diva has bombed. What shall we do? We kill her. We execute her on the spot. Right? Like, it's exactly what you need in this instance. Now, granted, big disadvantage, I should say, for the side of Costa Rica is that they do not have the sound barrier to work with now. Benji was forced to burn that in order to keep the team alive in that previous fight. So now, not going to have that one. Meanwhile, Chain and Smokes both have their support ultimates.
Yeah, and Arturus is going to get the good spawn. Honestly, could have potentially lost out if that bot would have never stopped moving, but we'll see how much that affects the next one. Double sword ultimates are ready because Benji took the really aggressive stance. Not going to have the sound barriers, so another situation where Chain could decide to go really aggressive with Puerto Rico. As Kitsune Rushes are out, and Chain is going to let that beat loose to try to turn the tide to this one. But all it's really going to do for the time being is kind of just sustain them and keep them alive. No real advantage found until now.
Yeah, and they do eventually get that Vendetta out of the equation, but Artoria's in a little bit of trouble here. Manages to escape, at least for now. Getting out in full as well. It's just a matter of, like, can they find a way to get over this checkpoint line, Puerto Rico? They've only really got the Summoning Blade to work with, using it behind cover in an attempt to just find a pick with it, and that's beautiful, Talisman. Just gorgeous stuff. Another pick too, but I mean, sometimes you press shift and you end up next to a Diva Bomb. It happens.
Yeah, this isn't quite over yet though. Benji's still hanging around. If Arsona can, yeah, actually they're gonna beat. Yeah, because they don't want to give up this. Remember, because of the way this is right now, this means you're super cut off if you're a McChicken. You should go down, and because they use that beat, they may sort of the checkpoint, but they don't surrender the lead. And the further that distance goes, the more important having that lead is going to be. So I like the idea. Plus, Benji still has room to be able to catch up potentially to get their own sound barrier up later on for a big engagement. But now Kitso is going to have their own Sundering Blade, is going to have some room here to make it work, but I like the way that Arizona is playing up aggressively. You don't want to have to go to that corner again if you don't have to. So for now, they're going to keep sitting here, but eventually they need to run.
Thundering. Oh. Spawn camp. As soon as you get out of that mech to self-destruct, you are just gone. You're dead. You're completely dead. Puerto Rico fighting back here in a major way, though. I mean, that might have been an early pick onto the tank, but it don't matter to them. They're going to win out the fight anyway. They're going to get every kill necessary, and they don't even need to burn an ultimate outside of the Diva Bomb that they tried to remech with.
100%. So we'll see what goes down from here. Remember, still time to touch this point and stop a full cap from going through. The question is, will they get there? And that they 100% will as the forward spawns unlock once more. They're going to be forced away and potentially, yeah, we'll have to give up the lead instead. Regroup for another fight as Wed will have their own considered rush where they will have a big advantage going into this next one. Yeah, but...
They are forced to back out here. It's a matter of, like, finding an opportunity to get back in, and that's a nice engagement. I really like the use of the override protocol alongside the beat to make sure that the Emery stays in the sky against Kyle on that Sojourn, and stay alive, McChicken does. And I mean, Angel of Death out here, because holy.
No, that's absolute insanity. And now we move forward. Lead starting to extend much further than Costa Rica is comfortable with. And now this is becoming a big must-win fight coming up here. You're going to have the sound barrier to be able to work with right here. But obviously, you would like to not use it if you don't have to. You would absolutely love to be able to hold on to it. But right now, Cal is just getting hard pressured out. Eventually is going to be able to get some care and stay alive. But now, it's the question of what do you do to engage in this fight, because you have to rule out Talisman as well with the Sundering Blade, and how valuable it's going to be to have that sound barrier, or at least having Artorias alive, to be able to pressure them out and stop it from getting any value.
Another Sundering goes out here. Keep in mind that it ignores sound barrier. It ignores that ultimate entirely, and I think that sometimes people forget that 2 players die to a Sundering Blade thinking they have the HP for it, and oh, that's just disastrous. This Diva's probably gonna die in the backline too, just while trying to escape.
Oh my god!
Again, off the map you go. You've been spiked. It's Super Smash Brothers in this bitch. 125 meters in building now, with Artorias currently still respawning. Eventually does have boosters, will be getting out of the door here, but I mean, there's so much working against the team with Costa Rica at the moment. Puerto Rico only a few meters away, but Kyle manages to get back out and find McChicken. Bomb goes out from Artorias, but Talisman finds the kill on the Diva before that remake can happen.
Wow.
The full cap will come through, and Puerto Rico will take away our second map.
Yeah, gave themselves a nice, much-needed win moving forward. And now put themselves in great territory, because now, remember, Puerto Rico won yesterday. They win again today. They still have yet to... In fact, at this point, they're now the only team to still not drop a single map so far. It's only 2 matches, but that's still amazing to be in that position. Legit goated. That is phenomenal to be able to see. Like, wow. And right now... What's going on over there? I want to talk about this one for a moment. I'll wait for the thing to start for over here. But, nah, that is insane right there. A big closeout right there for Puerto Rico to be able to bring things in their own right. Put themselves, honestly, in an amazing position as potential contenders moving forward. I think this win right here is very defining of that reality. Especially, well, you've already got Argentina and Costa Rica out of the way. You still have to worry about Chile and Peru. But they have so many matchups still coming up here that I think are really winnable for them. I think they're in a phenomenal position right now, Ketster.
I agree, because goddamn did they look good during that series. It was very, very well played from Puerto Rico throughout yesterday and today's game. And I mean, they have a busy day today, if I recall correctly. I think they play like 3-4 matches, if I am not wrong. I could be. Let me check real quick, just so that I'm not lying to the people. Puerto Rico. They play 3 matches today. Okay, yeah. That is a lot for them, obviously, but I mean, one down and it was quick. So like, I'm not complaining too much if I'm Team Puerto Rico because I'm feeling great.